Jashawn Hill knows what it's like to lose a loved one to violence. She was 28 when her younger brother was murdered 9 years ago.
I'm the oldest, and so everybody was looking to me to have some answers for the sisters who were left, and I didn't have them.
Jashawn had been heading for a career teaching math, but her family's trauma inspired her to choose social work.
I want my community to have the tools, the counseling, the support, knowing that there are crime victim services, that you do have a right, and that you are a victim.
So where are we going today?
We are heading to Mr. Blake's home.
Now, Jashawn travels the city as a social worker for Chicago Survivors, a nonprofit that offers 6 months of emotional and practical support to the loved ones of homicide victims. Tyrone Blake works as a security guard. He and his wife have a young child. Jashawn has been visiting him for about 6 months about the murder of his 25-year-old son, who they called Junior.
This weekend I had a rough weekend.
Okay.
You know, thinking about my son, just I would say the devil was, you know, bothering me this weekend.
Chicago Survivors first makes contact when a crisis responder shows up at the crime scene and offers to help the next of kin interact with police, hospital staff, funeral homes. Within a few days, a family support specialist like Jashawn Hill arrives to offer intensive counseling and case management, and practical support. Everything from making sure people are eating well and taking their medication to communicating with employers and schools. The services are all free, and no one is required to accept them, though roughly 90% do.
She made me feel comfortable. You know, I don't, a lot of things I don't like to discuss with certain people, especially somebody I just met. I didn't know they had this type of service for violent crime victims, survivors, you know, and it helps a lot.
Like a lot of people who lose loved ones in Chicago, Tyrone has faced violence and loss before. When he was 7, his father was murdered, and then as a teen, he was chased by a guy shooting at him and a friend. So Tyrone and many Chicago Survivors clients have post-traumatic stress disorder and show symptoms often seen in combat veterans.
For years, I was having these anxiety attacks where I couldn't go outside. If I go to the garbage can, I'm gonna have an anxiety attack.
When necessary, Jashawn can refer clients to more intensive counseling or other services.
This was me and him right before he got killed, a couple of weeks.
Tyrone Blake is the first to admit that his son was no angel.
He was a good kid, man. He loved his daddy, man. However, once he hit them streets, you know, he did his own thing. Sometimes I blame myself. Maybe I let him see too much.
Mr. Blake himself had a brush with some negative life choices when he was a youth. Now he has to deal with a son who kind of made similar choices.
Tyrone says he turned his life around about 20 years ago when Junior was still young.
Sometimes people feel like if their loved one was murdered in this city and maybe they engaged in something that they shouldn't have, that you're not a victim, but you are a victim because your loved one did not deserve to have their life taken, and this grief that you're experiencing, you didn't ask for it.
Tyrone says that the counseling and coping skills he's gotten from Jashawn, including this meditation app, helped keep him from doing something drastic.
Yeah, I've thought about retaliation. I've talked about it with people, still think about it. But I'm a man, I got a family, I got grandkids, I got, you know. I believe me and her seeing each other probably stopped me from doing a lot of things that I would have did.
After about 6 months, Chicago Survivors clients become part of what they call a community of survivors. They continue to get support in other ways: workshops, social events, and anti-violence advocacy. When we met Tyrone, his 6 months with Jashawn was wrapping up soon.
But yeah, I'm gonna miss that, man. That's sad.
I know, and I
It's gonna be
know.
a very sad day for me.
Mhm.
I wish she can continue to come for the rest of my life, you know? Everything she has done for me, man, has helped tremendously, you know? 6 months ago, I wasn't like this. No way near. And I'm gonna take it one day at a time and live life, God willing, you know, to however long he had me here, and just do what I need to do to stay focused and take care of my family, you know.